All right, well, I'm ready to go.
We're
Oh, we're
live,
live.
bud.
All right, folks, welcome once again to another episode of Custom Action Figure News. I believe this is episode 69?
69, Chad.
69, and it's kind of a restart button because
Back to
we
episode
are,
one.
yeah, yeah, well, sort of, yeah, we're on episode 1 of video, so we've been talking about doing this for a while, and now that school is out for both me and Sean, we're getting a little adventurous here, and we are trying to do a Google Hangout. We are still planning, though, on doing an audio podcast, and Sean actually beat me to the punch. He figured out how to convert audio from a video to an MP3, so we will be
Well,
doing
I have a
that. And,
slight confession to make.
okay.
Fly Guy helped me out with that a little bit.
Oh, did he? Oh, well,
Yeah.
I believe that he could. He's the master at this stuff.
Yeah.
He's been doing this so way longer than us, so we're newbies. But yeah, we should be able to get the audio from this podcast if you're listening live, and be able to publish it like we always do. It just might take. I might not be able to do it, 30 minutes after we get off live, like I've been able to do in the past. I may have to wait like until Sean sends me the audio.
But they get to see us, Chad. I mean, what's not to
Yeah.
like?
I don't know. Well, we can do cool things there. I got a guest with me right now, Vinny.
It's the Vinster.
Say hello. There you go. Now you can
Oh,
actually see him. What are you doing, buddy? We're doing a show here. You got your Iron Man? He's all into the Iron Man right now. That's his favorite Marvel character. So there you go. And he's been going through my Marvel stuff lately. So is mommy
very
making
good.
dinner? All right. Well, we're gonna do our show, okay, buddy? Okay. Bye. There you go. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to tell my wife that we were starting in here, but she knows that I was going to start. So, anyhow, all right. So let's see. Well, I know, Sean, that as usual you have some announcements here, so I'm going to kick it right on over to you. We should have let Vinny do the announcements.
Yeah, we should have. That would have been pretty cool. All right. Well, let me see if I can do this made in screen share, see if I can get that to work. But the first item I would like to talk about, and I'm hoping it's coming up now, is we have announced our next custom contest. It started today. It's the Star Wars Expanded Universe Challenge. Hopefully you can see that here. And basically, we had a fan forum poll and Expanded Universe one, and just really a good time to do an Expanded Universe contest with them, grouping all of the other stuff no longer canon. Well, I don't guess it ever was according to Lucasfilm and whatnot, but it's now grouped under a legendary status. And I mean, we've had this around to keep us going during the long and huge gaps between, Return of the Jedi and, when we didn't have anything else. And I thought it was just a great idea to do a tribute challenge. And so all you have to do is really create a custom action figure, an expanded universe character, and that can take any particular expanded universe storyline, Dawn of the Jedi, all the way to the Legacy era. I actually had to grab one of my Dawn of the Jedi books to take a look at the new timeline to make sure I was including all of them today. And just a couple of the particulars. It has to be a new custom. One entry per person. You can create more, but you still, one entry. 3 3/4 inch in scale. And when you're fine to share as many work in progress pictures as you would like, but if you would mark your final entry as final entry and give us, 5 of your best pictures, that will really be helpful. And we also had a very close runner-up in our poll with speeder bikes. So I wanted to say, well, if people want to create a speeder bike to complement their custom action figure, that would be cool too. But you don't have to. And remember, the main thing is one custom action figure. And you have until Saturday, July 12th, midnight Eastern. and I just actually ordered this today. You can see the grand prize there. Can you see it, Chad?
I can see it. Yeah, it's Black Series
Right.
figures.
Of course, after seeing the latest Dagobah Luke and Yoda, those two might not be
Yeah.
popular anymore, but we're going to talk about them later on in the show. But that will be shipped for free anywhere in the continental United States. And for our foreign friends, I know we have a lot of folks that like to customize outside of the United States. You're more than welcome. And if you don't mind shipping loose, I can probably ship them to you for nothing. But I might need a little bit of help because for anybody that's ever shipped outside of the country, it does get very expensive. But I will definitely see what I can do. But we hope you have a good time with it, and I think it ought to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And is that it for announcements?
That's it. I only had one this time. Well, for this podcast, like normally what we do, folks, is we interview a custom action figure artist. But because this is our main voyage doing video, we wanted to make sure that we gave them the very best podcast possible. And we've already learned a
Right.
couple things. Um,
Yeah.
so most of the stuff I would have probably had for announcements, we're going to probably talk a little bit about as we get into this. So, hence no
Okay.
announcements.
So this is just us kind of like shooting the breeze and getting
Right.
updated and kind of also like letting off some steam since it's now summertime and we actually have time to kind of take a minute and take a deep breath and at least for Sean and I, in our regular jobs, this is that time of year for us. So
Yeah.
all right,
Yes, it
so.
is.
Yeah, oh, I know. And actually, I'm still working at the museum. So tomorrow is my last day, and then I'm off for 2 weeks. So my summer really starts tomorrow afternoon because
Oh.
I've been working 8-hour days, Sean.
Ugh.
My whole family is sitting at home enjoying nothing, basically, and I'm working with. Yeah, I have 17 students in my morning art camp. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like school never ended. But anyhow, all right. Well, that's has nothing to do with customs, and that's what we want to talk about. So I guess the first thing that you put here in the notes is about Jrny Fan, who was our last interview,
Mm-hmm.
and he is moving on with his Death Star playset. And I'm gonna let you talk about this one, Sean, because I'm not up to date on all this stuff.
Well, take a look at this. Hopefully this comes up. Can
Yeah.
you see that?
Let me switch back to my Google Hangout window. Oh, yeah. It's like this thing to me when we were looking at the beginnings of it when we were interviewed him, and it to me this is like the Star Wars version of the Terradrome for GI Joe.
This is like one of the coolest things I've seen in a while. He has created a custom Death Star playset that is just absolutely fantastic, and it incorporates both scenes from, A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. And there's a Return of the Jedi scene right there, and it is just spot on. There's a New Hope swing to freedom, but as you can see, it is just really, really, really cool. And you definitely have to check out his Facebook page. It's Star Wars Plastic Playsets, but you can definitely find them on, Imperial Shipyards too. But man, just what a really cool playset, and man, I'm telling you, why in the world we can't get something like this from Hasbro? I know they keep saying that we don't want to pay the cost for it, but isn't that cool, Chad?
It is super cool. Yeah, like I said, it reminds me of the Terradrome, but just with Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
That old playset from the '80s, which is still super awesome. All right, so The one thing about this is I gotta switch back and forth from the Hangout window to see what you're screen sharing, and then back to the. Actually, you know what? Let me try something here. Let me see if I can do something here so I don't have to do that so much. Nope, it's not letting me do that. Interesting. Well, that's our learning curve there. All right, so the next thing is Darth Sinister has been showcasing great work.
Come
Oh,
in. I'm
waiting for
losing
my
you.
computer to load. Are you losing me?
Losing you.
Yeah, my internet. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you
I
see me
gotcha.
now?
Well, I
Okay.
switched it to the screen share for Darth Sinister.
Oh, there we go. I got it. Yes, Darth Mordinar. Mordinar? Is that how you
Yeah,
say it?
yeah. He's created. I mean, this is just the first that got him started. But basically, what he does is he has. I mean, he's a Photoshop master. He has taken bits and pieces of like this is all graphic artwork. For the most part, these aren't actually action figures yet, but he shows them and what they would look like in action figure form. And these are some of the Sith Lords that he's created. What do you think, Chad?
Those are sweet. It's like, is it supposed to be like kind of like a little bit between Lord of the Rings and Star Wars? Is that what I'm?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'm.
yeah. He's good for mixing and mashing lines. But another thing, and I'll have to scroll up here to show that to you. That's really cool. Like, look at that big old
Oh
snake.
my gosh, like a basilisk type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. I like the scientist,
Yeah,
evil scientist guy. That's neat.
yeah, and he does a great job of mixing, and I'll show some of that here. But he mixes some of the. He's an old TV buff. This guy, and some of the old. Uh, oh, there's a neat one. Some of the old movie characters like Lee Marvin. I'm going to show you what he looks like, but.
Well, that one just a second ago that you showed looked like Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
That one.
Yeah, I guess he was calling that the Apprentice Darth Vile, I guess. But just really cool stuff. That's a neat looking one.
Yeah, I like the werewolves.
Uh-huh. But let me show you, let's see. This is what I really started liking that he's doing. Is, of course, we're never probably ever going to get Hasbro to ever make any of the Star Wars Marvel characters, but that one's pretty
Mhm.
recognizable, is he not?
Mhm. Yep.
Pretty cool stuff. And he's just made just a series of these Star Wars Marvel characters. And, hopefully the screen share I'm doing is doing justice, but just really cool stuff that he's coming up with. And I really enjoy seeing updates to his thread. So you'll definitely have to see if I can get into one more thread. I don't want to, but just really cool stuff here. This is his latest post. Just some great
Oh,
additions. He even does some vehicle stuff. Isn't that cool?
yeah, that's cool.
Great to see a T-16 like that. Man, that would be awesome. Of course, there's Biggs. Biggs is T-16.
That's sweet.
Fixer. Cammy. Just pretty cool stuff. But anyway, he's really been doing some just really cool concept stuff, and I've really been enjoying it. So I thought definitely wanted to share some of that because he's been posting like regularly. So really appreciated that. Darth Sinister is his handle on Imperial Shipyards.
So we've got a Galactic Merchants update.
Oh yeah, let me go back. Well, basically, I'll start talking about it first before I go back to the screen share. These guys, we interviewed them, and they started off wanting to, try to produce some, I don't know, diorama pieces, displays, whatever you want to call them. And the idea was just so awesome. And of course, they showcased two projects that fit right in with the Star Wars theme. They created kind of a Death Star set and kind of a Tantive 4 set. I think they called one Space Station display, and then the other one Space Cruiser display. And they created, and I'm sitting here looking at the site, they created close to $9,000 to
Yeah, I see
buy
that.
some 3D printers and set this thing up, but they have been plagued with some production problems to the point where, let me see if I can start the screen share now. Here's the page, and all of these links and things, folks, will definitely put up for the show notes, so you'll be able to see those on YouTube, and you can click into them. It's not like we're trying to hide anything from it. We just, trying to knowing me. If you know me, I created a rather long outline for me and Chad to try to get through tonight. But as you can see, 6 days ago, they issued a little message that they're still, trying to successfully get out those orders. I've seen some folks get a little bit testy on their Facebook page, but I really think, small business, I think we need to give them, the benefit of the doubt, give them a little bit of time. They're just really super nice folks. And remember, this is a whole new venture for them as well as everybody else. And I'm just really hoping that this doesn't burn them out, in which case, man, they remember how we talked to them in chat. It sounded like they had some really, really cool designs, and I'm really hoping that this doesn't mean that they're just going to get frustrated and go back to, not producing things like this, because they're sorely needed, I think.
Yeah, like you said, Sean, I think they have every intention of carrying out on their promises, and it's not like there's some big corporation that has endless funds to fix mistakes or fix problems. More like fixing problems, and troubleshoot everything. Yeah, just be patient with them, and I'm sure that they will make good on their promises.
Yeah, let's face it. Whenever, you do something en masse like that, uh, listen to me. I keep thinking, I'm trying. These guys are just getting started out. Would I be so nice if it were Hasbro we were talking about here? I doubt it. But
No.
but these guys, they're making some stuff we all like. It was very affordable. So I'm really hoping that this doesn't sour anyone, both the producers and the folks who are buying this stuff. It's just really cool things and just really sorely needed. Let's face it. I think really one of the big things that Hasbro's dropping the ball with is producing quality, play sets, dioramas, whatever you want to call them. And these guys are filling, I think, a much needed niche.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So, and actually, I thought of something to add while we're talking about these guys like galactic merchants who are doing these startup businesses on things like Indiegogo and Kickstarter. The Marauders guys are really kind of doing something big with these task force figures, and I think we talked about it just briefly. Maybe it was the last episode, but their task force figures are going to be coming out this fall, right around I think like Christmas time, and those things are incredible. Have you gotten a chance to see those, Sean?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if I can, you keep talking about them, I'm going to see if I can find a page for them.
Yeah, well, the task force figures are basically, they're called gaming figures, and they're meant to be sort of like Call of Duty, or I would say like Call of Duty or like Battlefield 4, or even more sci-fi things like maybe even a Halo. You could possibly use them for a Halo type character or any of those video games, but they're very, very much like GI Joes in their articulation, and they're really cool looking. They have so many accessories, just like Marauders has always done with their weapons.
I'm
And
going to screen share on you, so
yeah, there you
keep
go.
keep talking. Is that true? 244,155 they've raised so far.
Yeah, it is, and
Ho-ho-ho!
the project has been long funded. Now what they're doing is they've set all of these stretch goals. They met their funding for the additional, for the for not the for the additional for the the basic run of
Oh,
Task
how
Force
cool
figures.
are those guys?
Yeah, those are all the ones that are the painted versions. That there's
Uh-huh.
different kind, but the basic three are the jungle, the desert, and the night ops. I think is what they call it, and then they've got all these different variants that they're coming out with that you can get if you go to certain levels, and then you can see on the right hand side of the screen there that they've got, like, if you go to this far you get this, and you go to this far you get this, and
Wow.
yeah, they're modular with their web gear, they're modular with their accessories like knives.
Holy cow, look at those accessories. Are you seeing that screen,
Mm-hmm.
Chad?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Wow.
definitely. I'm
The
seeing it.
heads and the helmets and the armors and the
Yep. They've got
Phew.
they've got a they've got hats. They've got and berets, regular hats, boonie hats, fast helmets. I don't even know what those type of helmets with the side shields are called. I know they're basically a fast helmet or a
Mm,
jump helmet of some kind. I've seen them. You can actually get those for airsoft too now, with the side shields, and and then they've got like
wow.
gas masks, and they've got uh, um, all kinds of stuff. And then they've got different kinds of web gear and vests, and those are modular where you can add knives and grenades and pistol holsters and
Holy cow.
pouches,
And this
and
is all 3 3/4, right?
they're all 3 3/4. They're supposed to
That
fit right
is
in with your GI Joe figures and your Marvel figures and your what have you.
wow. Look at the
And
articulation of these figures.
and another cool thing about these is that the sculpt work on them has all been done by Boss Fight Studios, which is, a lot of the guys that used to work for Hasbro on GI Joe, now they've kind of started up their own company and they're doing this freelance sculpting. They've sculpted these figures, so that's part of the reason why they look so fantastic. And Sean,
Wow.
I saw a picture posted, I think it was on Facebook yesterday, but the Boss Fight Studios guy have another line of figures that they've worked on, which are kind of like, I forget what they call them, but there's like a Roman centurion or a Greek soldier type of thing. And then there's a couple of other figures. They're kind of like soldiers from the past, if you know what I mean,
Uh-huh.
that they've
That's cool.
sculpted. And they had this picture where they had one of the Marauders task figures kind of like shaking hands with the Roman centurion. So I'm wondering, I don't know if this is what that picture was hinting at, but I'm wondering if Boss Fight Studios is teaming up permanently with Marauders Gunrunners and bringing us these action figures, because these new sculpts and everything that you can buy online directly from them, because I think Marauders Gunrunners has the customer base, not even just the fan base, but the customer base where it's obvious that they can get these big projects funded from
Mm-hmm.
this
Wow.
Kickstarter campaign. And wouldn't that be cool if we could really get
A new action figure producer, man.
yeah, it's like a new place to get figures from, and
Wow.
they'll be made from guys like us who like the same things and just have the ability and the I mean, how cool would that be? That would be
Pretty.
super cool.
Yeah, you're right. Super cool. Very cool.
I
Well, I
think
hope
we're
folks got to see some of that. I was scrolling pretty fast because it was huge, but we'll put that link up in the show notes too. Gee whiz, that is cool.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned this at the beginning, but if we didn't, it's a good thing to reiterate here, or if we did, it's a good thing to reiterate here. All of this video, if you're watching us live, will be posted to YouTube, which I believe will be on the Imperial Shipyard's YouTube channel,
Right. You got it.
and you can rewatch all of it, and also we'll be able to post the links there so that you can click through from the
Exactly.
YouTube video straight to what we're talking about and still be able to listen to the show. So that's cool.
Yep.
All right, so Jetpack Blues has made some Twilight stuff, and I've got to watch him kind of create those on Instagram step by step. And he's got a Darth Talon, he's got a Ayla Sakura, and what's the other one that he did? Uh, I know there's one that he's just kind of started with.
Huh. Well, I know I've been following his Ayla Sakura and his Darth Talon They're really, really awesome, and hopefully you can see the screen
Mhm.
share picture there. There's the figures behind them are the ones he used as the base. So you can see that there's some, some serious sculpt work going on, and some serious tailoring too. Like, the soft goods, the leather he actually used for Ayla Secure was really cool. But he's been doing some pretty cool
Mhm.
6-inch work, and I think you're right, Chad. I mean, there was a boss that he just tried out. He wasn't very happy with the sculpt. I've really been impressed with this stuff, and he made
Yeah.
kind of a cross between um, a stormtrooper. What did he call those? Where he made some 6-inch
Well,
stormtroopers?
the very first 6-inch customs that he did were colonial marine
Right,
stormtroopers.
stormtroopers. That's what I'm talking about. They were cool.
Yeah, that was actually like the very first ones that he did, and I think he's maybe done a few more. He's also doing a Boba Fett. What is that called? Concept? Is it
Mm-hmm. Right.
not concept? The animated Boba Fett. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking of.
Animated
Um,
debut.
yeah, animated debut, which is kind of I'm looking him up on my phone here because I can go to his Instagram and see all this stuff. Which, by the way, if you're not on Instagram, Jetpack Blues is on there, and I am as well. And we that's kind of like the main place that I post all of my work, and Jetpack posts everything there, and then reposts from there, which I try to do, but I don't have as much free time. I think he took some great photos of his colonial stormtroopers. Oh, he calls them Galactic Marines.
I'm getting ready to put those up now. I found them.
Yeah, and he took some great ones with his DSLR when he kind of went on a little hike up there in New York and took them with him, which I thought was
How
smart.
how cool, yeah. Really
Yeah,
cool pictures. So this is kind of like, Colonial Marines from Aliens meets Star Wars. Really cool stuff. Yep, I like it. All right,
Galactic Marines. Yeah, it looks like he's got about four of them now.
cool. Really enjoying the 6-inch work, and he's really showcasing how the 6-inch line is just really a great line to get into for customizing. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't talked you into picking up a few 6-inch figures, Chad.
Well, um, yeah, he hasn't really said anything. I mean, I talked to him about it, and I tell him how cool they are, but yeah, I'm a little preoccupied with another hobby right now. So,
Right.
but yeah, it would be not that I'm not doing customs. I'm doing customs like crazy, but I'm making some of them so fast I don't even have time to photograph all of them.
Wow.
But, yeah, I just sent out a 9-figure order this week, and there's a couple of them I didn't even get a chance to take pictures of because I got them out so fast. Kind of kicking myself for that now.
Hmm.
But anyhow, so now
We
we've
need to.
got. Oh, go ahead.
I think you may have skipped over one. We had. Did you get Ron Hembling in there?
Oh, you know what? When you click on the link, the little drop-down window pops down on Google Drive.
Right.
It was covering that up. So yeah, let's go back to that. He's rocking a new reptile now.
Yeah. Look at this.
Sorry.
Hopefully you can see this now.
Gotta click back to my Google Hangout. Oh yeah!
Isn't
Wow.
that cool? Let me see if I can make that full screen here. Where'd it go?
That is sweet.
Pretty cool, huh?
Hey Sean, do we have a live chat that we can look at? Like if people want to chat with
Yeah.
us.
Well, no. We
Okay.
have a chat that we can see while we're in here, but as far as live chat, although if they're watching it live on the site, you know how YouTube has a place where you can leave comments?
Right, right.
They can leave comments there that we could follow, although I'll tell you right now, for our maiden voyage, just trying to keep these screen shares straight tonight,
I
folks.
know.
I'm not going to, commit to going there and looking. So
Yeah. Well, that's
please,
something that we figured out way later on in the
right.
game with just audio podcasting. So I was just wondering if there's a way we could have people chime in while, but yeah, that is super cool. I mean, I imagine he used it. Is that a Velociraptor or? Some kind of
It's
dinosaur?
some type of dinosaur. He did something to the neck. Let me see if I can get back into this here and get to the other page I need to get to. And we'll show you some of the work in progress pictures. But yeah, this is really, really cool stuff. I mean, Ron Hembling, if you know him, the Sandtrooper is definitely his favorite character. But
Hmm.
basically, I'll scroll down here. I mean, he's just meticulous um, for uh, taking ordinary, everyday things. And let me see if you can see some of this now, folks. So again, bear with me as I get used to this screen share. But I'll try to take you down through a few of these work in progress pictures. From what I can see, he basically, if you can see this now, he's lengthened the neck and he's kind of lengthened the tail. And from what I understand, he cut out a section of the top of the neck and then he replugged the spikes from where the sand trooper's sitting back into the neck.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so I
that
can't
makes
even
sense.
Yes, I can't even. I mean, the detail on this, and another thing he's well known for is anything with a joint. Like he'll get it in the pose that he wants, and then he'll fill in all the joints with, I guess, epoxy sculpt things like that, and just fill them in and really make some. Here's where he first got started with it. So he doesn't like joints, and he kind of makes all of his figures essentially into a statue once he gets them where he wants them. But just really cool work by Ron, and I just really really enjoy seeing new updates in his custom thread whenever he gives us new updates too. So really cool stuff. Really cool stuff.
Oh yeah, always cool. Super, super professional and slick looking. You can always expect that from him too.
Yeah, and we've had him on some of our, and that's one thing too. We'll definitely have to give you a screenshot at the end and show you where to get to all of the other audio podcasts that we've had. I mean, this video format's definitely not going to do away with them. We've definitely had some great past podcasts, and Himbo Creations is definitely one of them. And you'll have to listen to some of his stuff because he's so good about sharing his tips and his techniques too.
Yeah, he was one of our first, very, very
Yeah.
first few guests that we had on. Well, back
Mm-hmm.
way back in the days when we had no idea what we were doing.
Kind of like right now, we're back to it again, huh?
Yeah, I think we're doing a little bit better than then, but yeah, definitely. You're doing
Yeah.
pretty good with those screenshots, though. They're coming through just fine on my end.
Well, I figure the less people have to look at my face, I think the better off everyone will be. So.
Oh man, I don't know. I think they like to see the face that's talking to them.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a new chapter of X-Wing Alliance from Hangar Bay
Oh
94.
yeah. Yeah, we have. If anybody knows Hangar Bay 94, he has created an entire. Well, you can see we're at chapter 25 right now. Yeah, if you remember the old PC-ROM video game called X-Wing Alliance with a central character called Ace Azamine, he has created. I mean, how this guy is not working for Dark Horse or Lucasfilm or
Disney.
Hasbro, Disney with, I mean, just his imagery and his storyline. I mean, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he just does this, doesn't charge anyone for it. It's just out of the goodness of his heart, a true fan, and it is just one of the most brilliant web comics, photo novels, graphic fiction, whatever you want to call them. Both, visually appealing with just wonderful storyline. I can promise you, once you get into it, you're going to want to check out all the other chapters. But just some gorgeous work and gorgeous imagery, and I just wanted to take a little bit of time since we were kind of trying this out because these photo novel guys, Chad. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I just don't think that they get enough love on the internet in particular because a creation like this, I mean, folks, it could take years to make something of this quality, and then they put it up on various boards or forums or Facebook or wherever, and people get into it, read it, and I just always was like, man, I wish they'd leave more comments and maybe act like they appreciate it a little more, because it really is like, look at this shot right here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if you have young ones, you might not want to let them see that, but I mean, just really cool stuff, and I really appreciate the time and the effort that all of the photo novelers take with just giving this to us for our sheer enjoyment. And it's just kind of like whenever we don't have anything new on the horizon, it's folks like Hangar Bay 94 that keep us going and keep giving us new storylines and character development. And like I said, with the expanded universe during the dark years when, we're not sure when anything new is going to show up. And I really appreciate those guys.
Definitely. All right. Let's see.
Yeah, we've got a couple
So,
other photo novelers.
yeah, we've got also Coolon, which I've always enjoyed his Clone Wars thing.
Oh, let me show you the latest
Tales from the
teaser.
Clone Wars, I should say.
Yeah, Tales from the Clone Wars. Let me show you his latest teaser. You guys might, I don't know, maybe we're doing too many screen shares, Chad, but it's just so cool, and I want everyone to see these guys and their work. Here is a little preview shown for his next chapter of Tales from the Clone Wars. I'm forgetting the name of this particular reptilian alien race.
Oh, he's crazy looking.
But
Wow.
yeah, looky there. There's old Mace Windu with hair, Chad.
Oh, that must be a back in the day shot, a
Yeah,
throwback
back in the
Thursday.
day. And
TBT.
yeah, that little reptilian blue guy turns into his youngling, his Padawan, I'm guessing. And
Wow.
I'm thinking this Padawan turns out to be bad, and so I'm assuming Mace is going to go after this guy. But just let me scroll down
Must be a
here.
flashback. Is that a flashback? Because it looked like it would
Yeah,
from.
yeah, it
Okay.
is.
I'll have to
And
go and read that.
but this is his. He starts off with a cover like this, and his chapters are just really chock full. Once again, great action, great storyline. Once again, just a huge amount of work. Of course, you can guess storyline, the Clone Wars, and just has introduced a lot of rich characters to us. My favorite one from some of his previous chapters, Astropha.
Yeah, the
Remember him?
what's Plo Koon's alien race? What are they called again?
Oh
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. I have to dig into the back of my brain
Oh
for that
no,
one.
I can't remember all of it, but just really
Uh,
cool stuff. But and he's true to some original trilogy roots too, and he show us stuff from time to time, and I really enjoy his work too. So thanks, Cool On. Thanks for continuing to share your wonderful photo novels and stories. We really enjoy them.
and I didn't know Chewie did
Oh
photo
yeah.
graphic fiction. I didn't know
Oh,
that.
oh yeah, Chewy is a big graphic fiction artist. Of course, most of the folks who know Chewy know him from Yak Face. He's definitely one of these administrators, moderators of that particular site, and just a great customizer, and a great diorama builder. And the reason he does it, I think, for the most part, is for his photo novels, his graphic fiction, and he has a character called Rycroft, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Justin, you'll have to forgive me if I am. It's called the Enlow Trials, and as you can see here, he has created some really cool storylines and characters, and all this. They're customs that he's built, dioramas that he's created, and you just can't even imagine the amount of time that's taken him to put
Yeah.
into this too. And hey, he's combined, zombies and Star Wars. What more can you want, right, Chad?
Wow. That's sweet. I
Thought
like
that
that.
dude was cool. And Vader gets his take and lops off a few zombie heads. But they're after a relic, and his family is being held hostage. And I don't want to give away all the storyline because I really think it'd be cool. You can definitely find it at imperialshipyards.net on the forums, as well as also at Yakface. Chewie's definitely a really good guy, and it's really been a pleasure. Not only reading his fan fiction, but we've also gotten into cahoots on a few different occasions, and did some site combined custom contests. And there's his main character, Rycroft. Rycroft, am I pronouncing that right, Chad? Do you know
I
how to
have
pronounce that?
no idea. Rycroft or Rycroft. I think it's Rycroft. I think that sounds about right.
So Justin, you're watching this. You're going to have to get on here. I've tried to get him on for a
We
actual
need a phonetic
podcast in the
breakdown.
past. Yeah, it's kind of like me trying to pronounce Shefka's name. Hey, I pronounced that right, uh, based on the way it's spelled. But just some really cool stuff. And once again, thanks Chewy for bringing this to our attention and creating such diverse and rich storylines for the rest of us to enjoy. And hats off to all the photo novelists out there for doing this and giving us great stuff. And definitely, in the future, I'd definitely like to do a whole entire show on nothing but photo novels and things of that nature. And of course, maybe towards the end of the show, we can talk about a couple other harebrained schemes too. But great job, guys.
So, and then we've got a Twi'lek Jedi from Boba Fett.
Yeah, let me catch back up here to my outline, trying to keep up the different windows. And
Yeah, you
yeah,
got the
I Am Boba
close.
Fett really showed how to mix soft goods. Hasbro has butchered, like, the one I can remember of grammar, Sean, is the Tarkin, the last Tarkin we got, and how they gave him like a soft goods lower part that was just awful. And I could not, I mean, I didn't pick up that figure, even though it was a new one, because of that soft goods. And hopefully you can see this here. Here's a customizer who goes by the name of I Am Boba Fett. And I don't know if you can see this now, Chad,
Mm-hmm.
but look at that.
That's pretty sweet.
Custom sculpted, everything. I mean, just really neat stuff. Wouldn't you love to see that on a 3 3/4 peg, with a custom card back?
Oh, definitely. And he's
Just
got,
really cool.
looks like he's got Joe articulation in the knees and then the ankles and everything. Pretty cool.
Yeah, look at that. When's the last time you've seen a Hasbro figure do that?
Yeah, never.
But just, once again, great work. Great work, and really did enjoy it. He's made some great versions and does a lot of really cool Cantina characters and Jabba's Goons characters, but really like some of his expanded universe and his comic work too. So very cool
What is this
stuff.
character from? Shadow Val. That sounds really familiar. Shadow Val. Hmm.
Let's see. He tells us here in one of his. He tells us where it comes from. Um, Star Wars Legacy comic series is
Yeah,
evidently
that
where
sounds
that particular character comes from. So
pretty cool.
definitely, yeah. If you're interested in any of these guys, just please, get into the customizing forums. You're more than welcome. You don't have to join even to peruse the custom threads. And I think to see some of the pictures, you might have to join, but that's a fairly simple process, and of course, completely free. But the more, the merrier.
All right, so now we're gonna talk about some product
Oh
information.
yeah, yeah,
Star Wars
yeah.
product information.
Yeah, I thought we'd do a little bit. I'd love to. I've been wanting to do a showcase on Dorkside Toys here for a while, and I guess the first product I wanted to get into was one that really has me excited, and I don't know um, if you've seen this one. Let me switch to,
You're talking about Vader?
yeah, the Mafex Vader.
Yeah, I saw it when you posted it on Facebook, and I thought that looks pretty darn sharp.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't that look cool?
It
Look at
looks
that.
super cool.
And So it's coming in December, and these are 6-inch figures too. And the thing that Metacom with their Mafex line, and I guess it all started for me when I saw like a version of Spider-Man, and he had some really wonky looking like ankles. It's like they don't mind sacrificing a little bit of aesthetics for posability and
Hmm.
super articulation as most of us know it. And this particular figure, as I hope you can see, really, really doesn't seem like it suffers from any of that. And I haven't heard of maybe some hints that possibly a stormtrooper could be coming, but just some really cool stuff. And once again, Dorkside Toys is just a really cool place to order it from. There's just really great price on this, and it's really easy to do business with. Matter of fact, if I can get you to some of their other Star Wars stuff, they've released some new stuff today. I don't know. I'm probably going out of order a little bit on the outline, Chad, but I wanted to showcase this. They have offered. When was the last time you saw individual figures for sale, and whether it be the 6-inch line or the 3 3/4 line?
Individual,
Yes, like as far as ordering online, I mean, it's very hard, or they end up
not
making the price so high.
right.
It's like you may as well go ahead and order a case anyway.
Right, yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. I said that you could always get them, I thought, but they were always like 3 times the price of what they would be if you were just patient and got lucky and found them in the store.
Right.
But these are now these ones here, are they the 6-inch figures?
Right. These were, just listed today from what I can gather. This is the newest wave of the Black Series 6-inch figures, and we've got the Episode 6 Jedi Luke, we've got the Episode 5 Darth Vader. I'm really excited for that one. Why in the world is it taking us so long to get a 6-inch version of Darth Vader? You would have thought he would have been in the first wave, but anyway, he's
Mm-hmm.
finally coming, and you can see we've got a new deco Sandtrooper, and then of course the Chewbacca
That looks cool.
that was supposed to have come out last time in the last wave, but because he kind of had this really wonky pose to be able to fit in the box, they decided to hold on to him. So you can order these as a part of, you can either singly or you can order the whole wave,
And they're
which I
not
will.
terribly priced.
No, I mean
They're
they're 20. It's what you're going to pay for them in a brick and mortar store.
right. And I
So,
imagine that if you get an appropriate amount, then you probably get free shipping.
oh, he has all kinds of shipping and deals like that. And another
Hmm.
thing that's really cool too that you're seeing differently. I don't know if you can see here over on the right. He's also offering. He's creating his own case packs. Like
Yeah,
there's three Boba Fett's, two Vaders, a Chewbacca, the new Sand Trooper, and then the Jedi Luke. And
it's like a bundle.
yeah, I mean, he's doing just some great things. You can order them singly, you can order different bundles, and that's just the 6-inch stuff. And like, right here, look, the very hard to find Boba Fett action figure. I
Yeah,
mean, you can just go order it. You don't get gouged, and if you can really imagine how much money you'd really be saving based on gas,
yeah.
it's just really, for me, living in a very rural area like I live, it's just a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer, yeah. It is
And
for me. I mean, even for me, I mean, it's like the the whole toy thing has really. I don't live in a rural area, and the whole toy thing is just there's just you used to be able to have 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 places to go,
hmm
to collect, and now the only place really is Toys R Us, and my Toys R Us is does not it doesn't carry as much stock. They're like not a main store. I forget how they call it, but they're not a very big store, so they
hmm
don't carry as much merchandise as maybe a store in a bigger city would
Right.
carry, because
Well,
you can't find this stuff really at Walmart. You can't find it at Target
oh,
anymore. I mean, It's
I haven't seen anything new hit my pegs in a while, but that's usually a segment we save for later. But it's like here, I'm showing you some 3 3/4 stuff of the newest, Black Series wave, and you can order them. He's doing different case packs with that too. He's doing loose out of packaging. He's got Mission Series. He's got Saga Legends. I mean, he already has some of these like way discounted. I mean, they're not even out yet, and he has them cheaper. Like here's the Dak Walter action figure. I mean,
hmm
$8. I mean,
hmm
you're not going to be able to find that on pegs for that
Well,
price.
this is what happens when you have someone who's selling these things that actually knows the product, and he knows which ones
Right.
are going to be the ones that are going to go on clearance or are going to be the peg warmers or whatever you want to call it. And so he's being smart and he's adjusting his prices accordingly, and that's why he's getting bigger and bigger all the time. He knows his customer
He
base.
knows us.
Yeah,
He knows what
he
we want.
literally knows us, Sean.
Yeah, there's a price. I mean, it's a Saga Legends figure, but $3. I mean, you're not going to be able to find that anywhere. So I definitely, of course, Chad knows, highly recommend Dorkside Toys. Very easy to navigate. Tell him Tamer and Lucasclones sent you, and he'll definitely know, who we're talking about. But
hmm
it's really nice. Like it's nice just to be able to order and forget about it because he said and he means it.
Oh
He either
goodness!
ships it mint or he ships it loose. He doesn't ship it.
Right,
So if you order anything packaged, it's going to come good. So.
right, exactly. Yeah, he's a great guy too. I mean, we've talked to him. We've been on shows with him before, and
Hmm.
he's a funny guy to talk to.
He's absolutely hilarious. Matter of fact, if you watch the last episode of Boring Conversation, anyway, he's on there. But yeah, he's really cool.
He's on
He's
there like every episode now, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's kind of like a co-host.
yeah. He's always a hoot. I could just sit back and listen to him talk for the full hour, and he busts on himself, he busts on fans, he busts on us, and he's done some hilarious things in the name of Star Wars collecting. It's awesome.
Yep,
All right.
definitely. Let's see. Okay, so the what is this? Anovos? I don't know
Yeah,
what
have you
this is,
heard of
Sean.
them? This
No.
is this is like fully detailed clothing costume line. Like right now, the only things they showcase, and let me get back to the screen share thing. See if you can see that. Um, can you see the price tag on that, Chad?
Holy moly!
Yeah,
Whoa!
so now don't get me wrong, you're probably not going to be able to buy anything as meticulous as this, but I don't know. For me, the price point for these things has just been so high that I just can't get into them. And they're also going to do some armored costumes, and just a little bit leery of what else. And here's the Luke Bespin fatigues. Just the fatigues themselves, you can see, are
Well,
definitely,
that's not too bad. I mean,
yeah, a
that's
little
definitely more
better.
down to earth.
Definitely a little better.
But you
Um,
don't have the belt, though. That's the
right.
thing.
Well, and then the belt
Yeah.
that comes for Han Solo is pretty much that same price, and that's just the holster and belt. That doesn't include,
Mhm.
any of the weapons or the things like that. But
But it looks really good.
he gives you some Greeblies, so I mean you can. But
Yeah.
it's very authentic. But I just keep wondering. Like I know I saw clone armor from them, but I haven't yet seen the cost on any of those sets yet. But it's going to be interesting to see what those things actually do cost. And I, for
Good looking
one,
website too.
oh
Nice looking
yeah,
website.
yeah, and it's pretty straightforward. It's fairly simple. It's easy to navigate, so I can't complain about that. And the only thing I can really gripe about is price. And no offense, if Han Solo was my favorite character, I'd probably be
Yeah.
hard pressed to maybe not get that.
Yeah, I mean, you can save up for it for six
right?
months or whatever, and or
Well,
a
it's
year.
tailor made. I mean, you can see the size. They want you to get yourself professionally measured, but the size stuff is right there. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a serious cosplayer,
Hmm.
that would be the way to. I would think that would be the way to go. Would be to get one of those things. If you're going to be someone that's at pretty much every Comic Con and convention, then
Hmm.
what would be better than to have something like that?
I hear you.
All right, so oh, yeah, that was just another link from the same website. Okay, I see what you had there.
Yep.
All right, so Jedi Temple Archives shows us terrible Luke and Yoda, and we've known
uh,
about this for a while. I mean, we've been
did
seeing
we know
footage
it
of.
was this bad though?
Well, I think it looked worse because it was a prototype, and I think everybody was hoping that it would get better, and it did. It just didn't. It looks really bad, really
Yeah.
bad.
Just walk you through this. This is our, friends Chuck and Paul from Jedi Temple Archives. I mean, look at those arms.
And this is a 3 3/4, right, Sean?
Right, right. This is the 3 3/4. This is the latest line that's supposed to be coming out, and we really got excited because we said, okay, they're going to start to offer some Joe style articulation for Star Wars figures, and then they do stuff like this.
Well, that's part of the problem right there is the fact that they're making the arms not only double jointed, which for a 3 3/4 action figure is super tough, but then they're making them detachable, and there's just not enough real estate and plastic to. I mean, that's just all articulation. There's no sculpt work there, really.
It's just, yeah, and it's just like, and it does look like you're going to be able to get him in whatever pose that you want if you can stand
Yeah.
to look at him once you get there. And here's another thing. This part right here, if you can see my arrow going around,
That's
uh,
terrible.
that was
That's
that was originally shown as blue, like a little blue Velcro strap.
Yeah.
But
Why didn't they
they,
go with that?
I don't know. I guess it was cheaper to go with this wonky clasp. Uh,
Hmm. Yeah, they'd
and
probably have to sew on the Velcro.
I guess.
And that would probably be a little bit. They'd probably have to do it by hand, Sean. With the sewing machine, but still, you'd have to
Oh
have someone
man,
sit there and sew this tiny Velcro on all day long.
I guess.
But yeah, that's horrible. That's terrible.
So,
Well, what I
and
don't
look at
know
the
is,
Yoda, Chad. Look at that thing.
yeah,
That looks like that ought to be in the Saga Legends or Mission series line. I mean,
I
his
mean,
head looks pretty good.
I think the only thing that I could say about this and a possible explanation is that he's kind of a pose dedicated figure. You're not
Yeah,
really.
for the supposedly more articulated Black Series line.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, and it's not like this company doesn't know how to do really good articulation and make it look pretty realistic in that scale because they've done all the GI Joes, they've done all the Marvel Universe, and I don't know. That's weird. That's it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I got to switch back, and we've got. Okay, I have no idea what this is, Sean. I'm gonna tell you right up front. Bandai
This is brand
S
new. This is
SH.
this is the
Okay,
Power Rangers company, Chad.
yeah, I know Bandai is Power Rangers. That's why I was like, what the heck
Wait,
is that?
wait till let me bring up the screen share and you can see this stuff. I mean, talk about they're showing some Star Wars stuff now. 6 to 7 inch line, another one. Seeing that stuff?
Yeah, what's up with all of these 6 inch lines?
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
I see it. It's the stormtroopers look fantastic. It's kind of hard to see Vader because he's backlit and he's
Right.
dark.
Mm-hmm.
And those are articulated too, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Wait till you see this first one that's coming out. Look at that. Samurai Vader.
Whoa, yeah. And that makes sense that they'd do something like that because
Isn't that
Power
cool?
Rangers are based off of that. Is Wow.
and movie realization, and they're showing Stormtrooper Samurais too. So I can't wait to see if they give you one of
Whoa.
those. But and this is all came about. Evidently, there's a toy show happening in Tokyo right now that's showing some of this Bandai SH figure art stuff. And here's some models that look. I'm also, you can see
Hmm.
1/12 scale. Look at these astromechs.
Oh wow, those are cool.
Those neat. This is just some really cool stuff. And here's another model, Stormtrooper, 1/12
That's
scale.
nice. That thing's
Vader, 1/12 scale. But just some really neat stuff. So I got excited when I saw that today. It's like, different folks are starting to produce. Like we've got 3 different manufacturers of the 6-inch line now, right?
I know.
We've
That's what I
got
was just saying.
Hasbro, we've got Medicom Mafex, and now we've got Bandai SH Figure Arts. So, were we going to see 3 3/4 go to different folks too? I wonder.
I don't know. They kind of protect that license. They kind
Makes you
of
wonder though.
It does make you wonder. I'm not gonna say it's not, but we'll see about that. Huh? And it makes me wonder also, why is the 6-inch license so easily being given out? Is it because they're
Yeah.
trying to strike while the iron is hot, or I don't know. And you put on here the Joe product news. There's not really a whole lot there other than they are up for pre-order on BBTS, but I guess you didn't see they've also it's only certain sets are up.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them are. Not all the ones that they announced at Toy Fair. Well, almost after Toy Fair are
Mm-hmm.
up. So I'm thinking they're going to do waves, but they also some of them are up on ToysRUs.com
Cool. Up for pre-order.
for pre-order, and that is the GI Joe 50th anniversary
Awesome.
sets, 2 packs, 3 packs, and vehicle packs, but not all of them. So, and then I know one. There's one. It's one of the ones that has Flint and the eel, which I'm afraid is the regular decorated eel and Flint, which is the one everybody would really want, is going to be the SDCC exclusive this year, Sean. I think.
Uh,
I'm not. Don't quote me on that, but I know it's one of the ones with the Flint and the eel. And there's 2. There's one where it's Flint and the Vamp and the eel and the boat, the Zodiac boat, the night
mm-hmm.
landing. And there's one where it's their regular colors, like they normally look. And then there's one where it's like the night ops, where they're like in grays and blues. And I think the eel is like black or something like that.
So I'm on Toys R Us right now on screen share. I'm trying to go through and find some of these. Seeing a lot of retaliation figures.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the maybe even
Well,
some.
Toys R Us has kind of gotten that as an exclusive now, because
Huh.
like it's almost like if you think about it, it's almost like a Toys R Us exclusive, because they've been having it restocked, particularly Wave 4, which is the one with Blind Master and Jinx. And I actually went in there. I finally went in Toys R Us. Not last week, the week before last, with Vinny, and they did have some GI Joes in there, but they just didn't have any of the ones that I had. But I could tell that I wanted. But I could tell that they did have them, and I missed them because I haven't been going. But it's no big deal. But
So are you still collecting the Joes?
oh, I definitely am. But the only way I'm getting them now mostly is just in trading with people. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like but I'm not going out and buying them. If I do, it'll be a Dollar General figure. But those around here, I know a lot of people are still getting restocks of the Dollar General figures. But I actually just went out this week and looked at Dollar General, and they didn't really have anything that they had like 1 figure or 2 figures, but they were the ones that I didn't want, like Cobra Commander and Snake Eyes, those are kind of the peg warmers. So, with the ones that I want are the Shipwreck and the Cobra Trooper, because I can make, those are the ones that are the best for customs.
All
So
right.
none of those to be found, unfortunately. But I'm gonna keep looking for them because I need them for customs.
All right.
All right, so that's it on the. I mean, like I said, that was really not a whole lot. I guess those sets, they're going to be a Toys R Us exclusive, which we knew, and I guess they're supposed to start hitting around September-ish, which means in reality they'll probably hit in late September, early October.
All right.
But we'll just have to, be vigilant and watch, and that's when I plan on really kind of going back and hitting Toys R Us on a weekly basis again and trying to get not just one of each but multiples, because there's definitely some good custom fodder in there. There's Night Vipers and Cobra Troopers, and even like the Beachhead figure I could use for a lot of really good customs. And Low Light will be back, which is it's kind of strange that they actually re-released the Pursuit of Cobra Low Light, which goes for like anywhere from 60 to 80 bucks on eBay right now.
I remember your review of that figure, and man, it came with a ton of stuff.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic figure. Still holds up in my opinion. There's not like a whole lot. If I was gonna redo that figure, there's not a whole lot I would redo on him, honestly.
Hmm.
So anyhow, that's the Joe news. So it's looking like they're not canceling it, and it's still coming out. If it's up for pre-order, that's a pretty good sign that we're going to definitely see them. It's just a matter of when now. All right, so we got we got sort of like the TMZ section of Star Wars news, don't we, Sean?
Yeah, I figured, oh, what the heck, if we had time, we'd run through some of the Episode 7 news and some of the Star Wars news we've heard.
Well, I guess the most recent thing is that top on the list is Harrison Ford getting hurt. I don't know exactly what
Breaking
happened.
news.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Evidently, from what it says here.
And they airlifted him?
Yeah, for an ankle injury, yeah. A hydraulic door reportedly fell down and hit him, possibly fracturing his ankle. He
Oh
was
my
airlifted
gosh.
to a hospital shortly after the incident. So,
Oh.
well, let's face it, he's going to be a pivotal character, and
Yeah.
man, I hope that doesn't set their timeline back or anything along those lines. But
He'll be fine. He's Han
yeah,
Solo. He'll be fine, I'm sure.
yeah, I hope so.
Um,
I hope so.
if it's just an ankle injury, it's probably just a matter of taking it easy for a few weeks until it heals up, and then you should be back in the action. It's not like he broke his hip or something really
Yeah.
bad.
What'd you think about? Let me bring up this next thing. What'd you think about this?
I already know what it is, and it's bad. In my opinion, it's bad. I'll put it that way.
Now they say this guy. Of course, I guess for those of you who don't know, here's the Twilight. Is this the Twilight hunk, Chad? All the young girls swoon over the vampire.
Yeah, I guess he is. I mean, I don't know anything about
Twilight
other than girls like it, and that's about it. And every once in a while, I caught maybe a trailer on the TV or something, or on the internet is more likely. But I know nothing about Twilight. Now, I will say I like the idea of a standalone Han Solo film. That's a cool idea, and I can understand why they picked this guy. I understand that.
Well, now it's rumor. There's no one saying that they picked him. This is just the rumor mill. He's in consideration for the role.
But right. But they made it. It's in the news. It's on the internet. So it's
true, right?
I'm not saying that.
I'm a French model too, right?
Right. But now, here's my thing on this.
All
right. When Star Wars came out, when Han Solo was, when Harrison Ford was young and playing Han Solo, I wouldn't have said that he was like one of these heartthrob type of guys. He was kind of like a rougher, gruffer. I mean, he's a scoundrel, right? Mm-hmm. So they need to pick somebody who's more like that. He can't be like Mr. GQ, good looks. He's got to be a little bit more. Han Solo's kind of like a a trucker smuggler guy. I mean, he's
Mhm.
not Mr.
Yeah.
Spit and Polish, but
He's a
uh,
scruffy-looking nerf herder, just like us.
there you go. That's a good way to put it. Good way to put it. Um, but anyhow, that's my thing on that. But we'll see what happens with that. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to find male actors like that nowadays because everybody is so kind of spit and polished, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, I haven't seen the Battlefront trailer. I just heard about this yesterday,
Let me
or
see if I can get us
maybe
to.
it was maybe it was yesterday, or maybe it was Tuesday. And actually,
Whoop. I'm not familiar with this YouTube. They have a YouTube app where you can play YouTube videos, but I just wanted to show. I
you can
mean,
play them
just
right on here. You mean?
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. There's a YouTube app, but this stuff just looks phenomenal. Some of the gameplay. I mean, look at this stuff. Isn't it cool?
I have to tell you, Sean, I've never played any of the Battlefront games.
What?
Yeah, well, I'm not a video gamer, but I've never
Dude.
played them. I mean, wasn't the first Battlefront game a PC only game?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that would be reason one why I didn't get to play it. And I know Battlefront 2 came out on either Xbox or PlayStation, but I never had any of the games because I didn't have a PC that could run a video game like that back when that was out. And I never had an Xbox or a PlayStation. I did only had an Xbox for a year and a half. Or
Huh.
actually yeah, a year. We've only had the Xbox for a year. So I have never played a Battlefront game, so I might have to get this one to play it because I feel like I know they're cool and I've seen videos of them online and it looks really cool. You can be a dang galactic marine. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
how cool is that? Or a clone trooper. So I'd love to be able to do that.
That just the realism on this. I mean, it's like they're taking 3D graphics to the next level. Did you see how many views that thing had in just a few days?
Know how many did it have?
It's like 2,600,000 and some thousand.
I believe it. I
You
believe it.
think
It's
people
Star
are
Wars.
excited for that game?
Yeah, I think that'll be the game. There's always like one game at a time that's kind of dominating, and I think that will be
Hmm.
it for a while when it
Well,
does
let's
finally
face
come
it.
out.
When's the last time we had a new Star Wars video game? It's been a while. LucasArts dissolved.
I think the last one was Force Unleashed 2, right? Wasn't that the last one? Big one?
Oh no, you're probably right. No, it's been a long time. I know that.
Yep. That's the last big one that I can remember. Okay, I know nothing about Josh Trank.
Yeah, I don't either. That's why I put it on there for you. You were supposed to talk about this. He's evidently let me. Yeah, he's supposed to direct the Star Wars, the standalone, one of the standalone films. I don't know. Like I thought the first one was supposed to be Boba Fett, but from what news I was able to gather with it, they've been having a hard time Disney picturing Boba Fett as a good guy. So I
Well,
don't
why does
know.
he have to be a good guy? I mean, why
What
can't they still make? I mean, there's plenty of movies about guys who aren't that great.
I have no idea. I guess Disney. They like the a main hero
Yeah,
in a
he
movie,
wouldn't be.
but he's the newest director to come on board, so I'm not sure whether it's for maybe the Han Solo
Yeah,
one or if it's the Boba Fett one.
I think what they should do is they should do both of those characters in one movie. Make Boba Fett the villain, and we know that Han Solo and Boba Fett go back. You
Yeah,
know, and they have a previous history.
I need to research this guy, but it says he's currently at work on the Fantastic Four for 20th Century Fox,
Yeah, I've never heard of him.
and there was his lauded directorial debut, Chronicle. Are you familiar with that movie?
Chronic? No, I'm not familiar with that. Is that the Chronicles of Riddick or something like that? Maybe.
It just says Chronicle, so I'm not too sure, bud. But
Yeah, I
I'll
have
have to
no
give that.
idea.
Should have definitely researched this one more, but definitely is news to me, to be honest.
Hmm. So I guess there's been kind of a bit of a hoopla around leaks of episode
Oh yeah.
7 photos, and I saw that TMZ story. I just have a hard time taking anything that TMZ puts out seriously. My wife watches the TV show, and it's just so it's like I was like, God, why do you watch this? It's terrible. It's horrible. It's
Yeah.
bad. It's just paparazzi sitting around, talking about being paparazzi, in my opinion. But yeah, I
Yeah.
guess there's secret agents in the uh, episode 7 production studios snapping photos and leaking them.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna go past this page, but it's showing some kind of a creature and I guess some type of Tatooine type set, and it's kind of what it looks like. Of course, we've seen J.J. Abrams introduce us to a new Star Wars alien from that set, but yeah, it's just kind of hilarious.
But wasn't the J.J. Abrams an official okay release? Wasn't
Yeah,
And
right.
these ones aren't. These are literally somebody leaking stuff that they're not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. And I think, did you see George Lucas's response to it?
Yeah, he basically just kind of washed his hands of the whole thing.
Yeah, he just basically said, "Well, I'm retired."
Yeah,
I
he's
thought that was
retired.
pretty cool. He said he's not dealing with it. I just thought it was an awesome response. Right on, George. It's not your worry anymore.
Yeah. It's typical George fashion. It really isn't his thing anymore, and he kind of just does his thing and lets the rest of the world go on around him.
Yeah, I also love JJ's response to the whole thing too. He says, "Okay, if and he kind of talks about if you're not sure. He talked about the Millennium Falcon. I don't know if you had a chance to see that image yet.
Yeah, I did see that one. Uh,
Definitely know what that's from.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool. That's awesome.
Chewie's gonna pull the arms off a droid again, I guess.
Oh, that would be funny if they really did that too.
Yeah. I don't know. Disney's gotten a lot more violent lately if you tackle like the Marvel movies and whatnot.
Yeah, well, they kind of have to. But
Yeah, I know.
all right, so that's pretty much it here. I guess their next guest is going to be Chad Peak, aka Peacock One, or
Yeah,
Peak Obi One. Is it Peak Obi One or is it Peacock One?
I'm not sure. It's just always been to me, peak Obi-Wan, but I could be wrong, and I'm sure he'll
Well,
set us straight. But
yeah, well,
he
it can be
he
our
had
first
actually,
question.
yeah, he actually agreed to be our first,
Video.
video viewer, and I just didn't. I was like, I think we need to get one under our belt, so to speak,
Yeah,
and deal
play it
with
safe.
things. And of course, I kind of gave us a lot of different things and outlines tonight just to see how we could get through it. And I think for a couple of newbies, I think we did a pretty admirable job. But thank you, Chad, for being, our first live guest customizer interview. And I know for sure we'll be able to get Dayton back. He's been doing some. Oh, how could I forget his wonderful
Oh, the
aliens
alien.
work? Oh my goodness. How could
I
I
don't think we
forget?
forgot it. It's just, yeah, it's
He
just
just he's just always so good. Sapphire 30 Creations on Facebook, folks. We'll definitely have to showcase some of that.
if there
Uh,
was ever a case for someone to be picked up as an action figure
right.
designer, those recent pictures that he's been posting are it. I mean, how can any toy company rep, someone who's in charge of hiring sculptors, not look at? I mean, they blow away anything else that you could get, in my opinion.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's fantastic. I'm going to see if I can find some of that stuff real quick. I mean, he was actually, I don't know how in the world, because he was supposed to be number one on my list when I started putting together that outline.
No, we saved the best for last.
Yeah, let me bring him. There he is. Sapphire 30 Creations on Facebook, folks. Uh, Let me bring up the screen share, and then we'll just scroll down through this real quick. Trust me, it'll be time. You'll be glad you bared with us, folks, because this guy is definitely one of the most awesome customizers on the World Wide Web. I think we can agree to that, can't we, Chad?
Oh, 100%. I'd agree to that. I'd say he's probably the best of the best.
All right, let me scroll down through here, and I mean, he molds and he casts, and he does all this cool stuff. There he is talking about Boss Fight Studios, and he's
Yeah,
just
that's the
really,
ones I was telling you about. Those are the Spartan, and then there's like one or two other ones that they've sculpted. Those are the ones I was telling you about earlier in the show, where they're like soldiers from the past. I forget what they're called though. They have a name for them, but then they also, you know what else? Boss Fight Studios has. They have the action figure that's just like a blank action figure.
mm-hmm,
Do you remember seeing that? It's like just the body,
right.
and it's like super awesomely sculpted. It's kind of like an Alpha Blanks, but more detailed. You know, like it has
Mm-hmm.
more muscles and all that. But anyhow, yeah,
Here's some Star Wars work. It was he loves Star Wars too, but he's really into the alien stuff. Like, looky there.
he's been working on the aliens thing now for over 2 years, hasn't he, Sean?
Yeah, he's creating Nostromo diorama that is just off the charts. And here's some of his completed prototype work. And like I said, he's working with his own big chap. And of course, he's a master mold maker. Of course, he critiques stuff too. He's definitely a true fan, and he's
He
so
does a little
good
bit of everything.
about sharing, what he does. Uh, but you definitely need to check out his Facebook page, and he's got a blog too. But I think he's fairly he might be come on computer. Facebook and all these things I have going right now is not liking me. I want to scroll down, but check out his Facebook page. All right, I'm just about ready to give up, but
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's loading. But it's not letting me scroll down. All right, well, I'm just going to give up with that. But you have to check out his stuff, and you definitely won't regret it. All right.
Take you a while to go through all of it.
Oh yeah, just get yourself a good cup of coffee, or get yourself a brewski if it's the evening, and just kick back and enjoy yourself. And just a true gentleman, and just a wonderful ambassador for the hobby of customizing. When you say, Chad?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're pretty much here at the end of our thing.
All right.
At the end of our notes, I should say. We could do what's on the pegs. I really kind of already told you everything that I saw. I know you maybe saw a little bit more. And then you also put down here if I wanted to highlight any Joe customs or Airsoft customs. Well, um, like I said, all my recent Joe customs that I've done have been for a guy up in New York named Justin NYC, and he already has all of them. He bought them all from me, and in fact, I sent him out a 9-figure package on Monday, and he got them today, and he's already got some other ideas that he wants me to do, and I'm actually starting to run out of. I'm not running out of fodder, but the type of stuff that I need for what he wants, starting to run out of because he's taken all of it. I've done 18, 19, 20, 21, 21 figures, 22 figures for him
Whoa.
in the past month and a half. Yeah, and I already got a couple of things thrown together for the next stuff that he wants. So yeah, and I got most of that photographed. Some of them were stuff that I've had, and like they're on shelf, and he wanted them, so I just sent them to him. And some of them are, I'd say probably about 50% were that, existing customs that he bought from me, and then the other 50% were things that I made for him. A lot of it Call of Duty, like he has all my ghosts. Um, he
Oh,
has he has some of my Modern Warfare 2 uh, figures, And then I made him some like Spetsnaz figures and um, oh, I just did for him some Battlefield 4 characters. Those ones that I just recently published. He already has those. And then my airsoft guys that I did, like the Dan Foo Fighter figure and Wicked 559 guy. He has those too. He wanted them, so I kind of just made them for fun. I didn't make them to keep, so he has those. And I'm planning on doing a few more airsoft characters. Um, I'm gonna do. There's a guy who I really like his YouTube channel. If you're into airsoft, he's kind of like one of the big guys to watch. He goes by the name of Desert Fox, or Jet the Desert Fox, and he's actually a Navy vet, and now he plays airsoft like professionally. He does videos for ebike.com, which ebike.com is a big one of these big kind of like big online airsoft stores. You buy guns, you can buy gear from. So he does stuff for them, and I'm gonna do. Actually, have the whip of him right here. I got the head picked out and the web gear and the body. So now all I've got to really do is paint it up, make it look more like one of his. He's one of these guys where he's got like different kinds of loadouts, so he has different outfits that he wears for different airsoft occasions. So I just got to pick one. And I did a self-portrait of what my airsoft loadout that I actually use looks like, and that's this figure right here. And
Cool.
I actually have a custom painted zombie mask that I wear as my face protection. So I actually took a cast of a zombie viper. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me see if I can get my camera to focus in on it. But I took a cast of a zombie viper that I got from Mikey Sith Happens, and just cut it, shaved it down, and made it actually fit. And then I have an alternate head that I've actually had for quite some time of myself. That I put the beard on it and the red beret and everything. That it's like if I don't have my helmet on. And I'm trying to think what else here. I'm trying to get in, and I've just been so busy working for my buddy Justin. I've been trying to get in some customs for Wookie Balls. He's got this verse that he's kind of come up with, which is like a post-apocalyptic alternate future in the 80s, where it's like zombies have taken over, and you can only do like specific types of gear that you would have in the 80s. Like you can't have newer fast helmets and all that stuff, which he put that out like about, I want to say like 1.5 months ago. Or so anyhow, this is one guy that I'm working on here. That's kind of from that, and I finally just found the right kind of pistol belt for him, and he's got kind of like this like more old-fashioned type of weapons and stuff. Kind of, it reminds me a lot of the original 13 GI Joes that came out in the 3 3/4 version. They were all olive drab and kind of old style helmets and stuff like that. So, and then I started this is like Stalker from G.I. Joe, but if he was a Call of Duty ghost. So I painted the ghost skull on his face, and oh, look at that. That's you, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's you? I have mine somewhere here.
Now, this is one I made. This is a new version of Veers I made.
Oh, is that Veers? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you were holding up the one that Mr. Black made for her.
Oh, that's very close. I don't get too far from it. Remco's Wart, a.k.a. Mr. Black Customs. Let me see if I can get it out here. But, yeah,
Mine's
this is...
still in the box that he sent mine with, I think, somewhere down here. I have to see if I can find it, but I keep that one in the box because I don't want it to get dusty. Yeah, that box.
Yeah. Yeah,
oh,
I really... Yeah, this is one that's kind of a self-portrait AT-AT commander that Remco's pretty cool, but, this is, and folks, this is just simple. This is where I kind of combined, I've always wanted to do this one. This is a kit bash of the I want to say it was the first wave when the vintage cards came back of the AT-AT Commander back when we first got the
Way back in
BAT-AT.
2010.
Mm-hmm. And then
Yep.
combined it with the Saga 2 Veers.
I think it
And
was the first wave because they released the AT-AT kind of at the same time,
mm-hmm,
and they released the Veers because you had to get him with it.
mm-hmm. But it was just a really, really, really. I was just setting that down so I don't, because I don't want to injure that. But this is
Hmm.
really, uh, this was a really fun one, combining two figures into one that's really over the top.
So, um, this guy here, I just primed in black. I actually need to go over it because there's a couple spots I missed. But this is, if you ever seen that old 1985 movie House, where it's like the author, what is the guy's name? He's an author and he writes horror movies, and then he was in the Vietnam War, and he's writing a memoir about the Vietnam War, and then he goes in this house that his aunt used to own, and then it turns out that the ghost of his Vietnam buddy is actually haunting him, and the Vietnam buddy is Big Ben, so this is him, and I sculpted he's like a zombie Vietnam soldier, so I was like, that guy's cool, so I'm making him.
Cool.
So I'm hoping to get him finished painting up, possibly this weekend. I need to do a little bit more on the priming there.
You got to save some time to get into that expanded universe contest there, bud.
Maybe, I don't know. We actually have a big airsoft event on Saturday I'm going to be at all day long. There's a company called Elite Force which makes really, really good airsoft gear. In fact, I have a Elite Force. This is one of my favorite toys right now. This is my Elite Force M1911 pistol, and they're going to be hosting a game at my local airsoft field, and they're giving away goodie bags, and they're also going to do a raffle for some rifles and some stuff. And Lucas is coming back from scout camp in the morning on that day, and I'm picking him up from scout camp and going right to the airsoft field. And we're going to play all day with a bunch of our friends. So I'll probably won't be able to do anything that day, but maybe.
By July 12th, you might be okay.
Yeah, because I'll be out of scout. I'll be out of art camp, and pretty much every day to do
I gotta
stuff.
see a Star Wars custom from you, bud.
You know what? I have around these parts here somewhere on this messy desk. I have an ARC Trooper, a Clone Wars ARC Trooper, put together.
Cool.
That I need to paint. All I need to do is paint him. Oh, and I have a Clone Wars Mandalorian that I have plans for. I don't know what I'm going to do with him yet. I might just make up my own design for him. And then I have like 3 or 4 Fordos that I just have for whatever I want to do, that I still want to get back to doing some ARC Troopers. I haven't done an ARC Trooper in forever, and I'm kind of missing doing ARC Troopers, so who knows? Maybe. But did you see my grenade launcher, Sean?
I saw your video on Facebook today.
Yeah, that's my new toy that I want to mess with. So, but I'll show that to you right here. That's my grenade launcher. So I'm hoping to shoot a whole bunch of people with this on Saturday.
Folks, disclaimer: this is airsoft. This is not
a
real thing.
Gun.
Please don't report Chad to your local police department.
Here, you know what I'll even, so that people that don't think that I have an actual incendiary.
It's amazing how real those look.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point. This here is the shell, and it looks just like a real 40mm shell, which I'm sure, Sean, you've probably seen some real ones of these in your day.
Right, shot a few of them.
Being in the Army, but right in there, that's where you put the BBs in. And there's actually, there's a little O-ring right here in this joint here that once you push the BBs past it, it holds them. And then there's a little, that's the primer. and then you fill this up with propane. Here's my propane tank. I just fill it. Here. In fact, here we'll do it. There's no BBs in this, so I'll show you how it
Kids, don't
fires.
try this at home.
But I don't know how loud this is going to be, but there you
You're
go.
gonna get in trouble, aren't you, Chad?
Me? No, probably not. I'm probably not going to. Although I almost knocked one of my paratroopers down. He got the blast of the propane, and he's like, "Whoa!" I think he doesn't have any dust on him. Ooh, this might be a good way to undust your figures.
Uh,
No.
what was that mad scientist called for GI Joe? Dr. Mindbender,
Dr.
or was that his name?
Mindbender.
He's got a little of that. You're sporting a little bit of that now, Chad.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, yeah. If you could see, all down here is all air stuff junk. I got my figures on this side, and I got my airsoft junk on this side. So, yeah. We'll have to do one show where I take my webcam and do a tour of the studio live, Sean.
Sounds good.
So, anyhow, well, I already kind of said what was on the pegs for me. I don't know if you found any goodies around in your neck of the woods.
I'm almost exclusively online now. I haven't seen anything worthwhile on the pegs for a while. A lot of the new movie toys, Transformer stuff is out there, but that new, some of those Grimlocks seem really cool for Transformers. But as far as, I'm seeing some of the same, Captain America figures seem to be there and that sort of thing, but I've not found anything. The pegs are just decimated. Matter of fact, the only Black Series figures I've seen for months and months are some bigs. There's about 5 or 6 bigs on the peg at one of my larger Walmarts, but other than that, I have been very impressed with the Disney. I don't know if they're 14 or 15-inch, whatever they are. They're the talking figures that are almost fully articulated.
I saw those at Star Wars Weekends.
Really cool.
They're nice. They are. And in fact, I actually saw a couple of kids walking around the park with them out of the package. And when you go to... Oh, that's one thing I forgot to tell you. I did actually get some Star Wars stuff at the park, but I'll let you finish. But I just wanted to say that when you see them at the park, the packaging is open, so you can actually hold them and everything, and they're nice, Sean.
Yeah, I really like the Stormtrooper. Matter of fact, I got the Vader shipped in this week, but the box was so badly mangled that I was forced to send it back. I mean, the figure inside was, I mean, I could see it laying somewhat in pieces inside the packaging, so I didn't even try to really open up the box. I said, "Oh, well, just let me tape this back and send it back." I mean, when I don't have a Disney store anywhere close, so I have to order from DisneyStore.com, and the Stormtrooper showed up and the box was slightly mangled, but the Vader. So I'm not so sure. I'm very happy with DisneyStore.com shipping department yet. I think they've got a few things they need to learn about shipping action figure type things, especially for the carded guys like me. But I mean, the offerings themselves seem very, very cool, and I'm really glad I decided to get the Stormtrooper. And I think on vacation this summer, 1 week here, I might be getting up to a place where there is the Disney store, so I'm hoping I can pick that Darth Vader back up and get one that's in okay packaging. I mean, I'm not too particular because the packaging's not all that great to me for this line. It's kind of
made
spindly,
to be ripped open.
Yeah, but I'd hate to risk getting another one shipped again because this one was just, I mean, it was crunch. I could hear it crunch when I even opened up the box. Oh man, this thing's broke. So I didn't even try to push the button to see if it talked. So I just taped it back up and sent it back.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, but other than that, that's about it. I've been doing some of the new pre-orders, with some of the new 6-inch stuff, and I'm anxious to see that. And I think that new 3 3/4 wave is getting ready to ship. So, but as far as excitement, as far as seeing on the pegs, no.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing of the past almost.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but the one thing that I forgot about that I was going to tell you when I was at Star Wars Weekends, they have the Darth Mall there where you can buy the merchandise.
Like
And
Darth Maul, literally.
yeah, it's called a Darth Mall.
It's
And
huge, and it's like a Big Ten. Is that what it is?
well, they actually moved it indoors. The
Oh, okay.
past 2 years they had a big tent, and you kind of had to walk all the way to the corner of the park, and it was like in the parking lot, and they just put like barricades up, to make a little section for it. But both times that we went, last year and the year before, it was raining, so they had to deal with water, everywhere. And of course, it's air conditioned in the tent, and there's all these electricity needs. So I think they just moved it in. It's like across from the Toy Story ride now.
Hmm.
That's where it was. And anyhow, they had all their usual stuff, and then they had exclusives and all the T-shirts and hats and all that stuff. But they had the Star Tours battle pack. I don't know what the Star Tours gift packs,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and they were on sale for $10 a piece. $10, and there's 3 figures in each thing. So Vinny got one of the Mission Series packs with the Orange Clone Trooper and the Battle Droid, and I got the Star Tours pack that had the Sky Trooper in it because I always wanted one of those Sky Troopers.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Vinny plays with it, but the droids are pretty cool, and it does come with that neat little luggage case that you can actually open up and stuff. So I actually got some Star Wars stuff when I went to Star Wars Weekends.
Maybe I don't have to give up hope for you, Chad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I looked at it like I really only wanted one figure out of the box, and it was $10, and I didn't have to pay shipping because I was there at the park. And what's one figure cost if you buy it in the store? $10. So,
$10.
and they had a wall of them. They must not be selling them, So yeah, $10. It was kind of like a no-brainer. Like I saw the other one that just had the droids. I think it had 3PO and like 2 other droids, and I was like, $10, maybe. And then I saw the one with the Sky Trooper. I was like, okay, now I'm getting that, and grab that. So yeah, it's not like the as cool as the ones that had like the Boba Fett and the Vader. That would have been really cool to get those for $10. But yeah, it was definitely a good deal. But that was it. But the Star Wars Weekends was pretty cool. We got there a little bit late, so we didn't see the 501st parade from a very good vantage point. Like, we got to see them, but you have to kind of get there like 40 minutes before the parade starts to get a good spot, and it seems to get worse every single year. So, but we got to see them just only like the tops of their heads, like this much. And
Did you see Mark Hamill? He's there this year.
No, he wasn't there that day.
Oh,
that day, the guests were, James Arnold Taylor's always there. He's like the host.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ray Park was there. And I think he's there almost every weekend now. And then the guy who plays Major Brenderlin was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what his name. Trying to remember what his name was. It was like a regular guy, just like a regular guy name. I think his first name started with an R, or maybe it was Dan something.
I just remember him from Cheers.
Yeah,
he was the guy that was the postman and
yeah,
sat beside Norm.
Yeah, that was him. But
Cliff. His name was Cliff, wasn't it?
In Cheers, yeah. But that was not what his name was. His real name. But yeah, he was there, and Ashley Eckstein was there. So no Mark Hamill. I think Mark Hamill was only there the opening weekend.
Huh.
Which we never seem to be able to get to the opening weekend because it's always like a busy week for school and stuff like that. It starts like I think the first week of May. I think is the start of Star Wars weekend. But we had a good time. We got to ride Star Tours, and we got to see characters, and Captain Rex threw me a salute at one point, and that was cool.
Awesome.
So that's that for me,
And I think we've done our first podcast, Bud, on the video.
Video podcast, yay! All right. All right, well, I guess that's going to do it for custom action figure news, and hopefully this is kind of like a new beginning for us, and kind of moving ahead and trying to be on the cutting edge and all that good stuff, which is hard to be on the cutting edge when the cutting edge is always changing. But
Yeah. Maybe this format will stick around for a while.
I have a feeling that it will. But anyhow, as soon as Sean gets me the MP3, I'll be able to publish that to Libsyn. And until then, enjoy the YouTube video. And definitely leave us comments and what you thought.
What
And
you didn't like, what you'd like to see, and
yeah, yeah. And, like, for instance, if you don't need a screenshot of everything, let us know. Or if you like the screen, I think the screenshot thing worked out well because you can kind of follow us along. And
I think for customizer interviews, actually letting the audience see the work that we're talking about, I think will really be a real boon to this.
I agree. Yeah, I think it will.
Maybe not do quite so many screen shares as I did tonight, folks. It's been so long since we've talked. We've been trying to find some time to get our audio podcast switched over to this video version, and like I said, it's not a horrible learning curve for those of you who are thinking about doing it, but there's a little bit to learn and trying to make sure it'll integrate with your old formats and all that. So we had a lot to talk about, which is why we got a rather lengthy outline and a lot of screen shares tonight.
I think, for people who, maybe enjoy podcasting, podcasts, and they have an idea for their own show, this might be the way to go for them because it's free, number one. And if you're not worried about being in the iTunes store, which, that's going to cost you some money. You got to have some way to publish your audio and get it out there.
Some place to host it, and file size is huge, and
yeah, this might be the way to go, at least to start out with, until you can do all those other things.
Right.
But yeah, I kind of feel a little bit cheated, Sean, because now it's a little bit easier. We kind of did it the hard way, huh?
Yeah. Yep. We did it from absolutely no know-how, nothing. It's like, hey, we ought to do this. Actually, it was your idea. You got me into this, Chad.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? For better or for worse.
It's fun. Let's face it, where else, country can get together and talk about customizing and custom action figures and shoot the bull with good friends. And the folks who are watching this, many of them are going to be our friends that we've known for how many years now, and we appreciate your support, folks. And for those of you who've stuck with us for years and years, thank you very much for keeping after us to continue to do this. And definitely without your support, we probably would have, I don't know how many technological hurdles we had to jump through, and we would get frustrated and just, we'll figure it out. And then I'd have, how do we do this? And then I'd get frustrated. Anyway, we got it worked out. So thanks for being patient with us and sticking with us for the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a learning experience, but it's been fun. So anyhow, well, if you want to get a hold of us, I guess now you can definitely comment on the YouTube channel, and I guess Sean, you'll probably see those comments,
right?
Since you run that. And of course, if you want to let us know anything, you can always email me, lucasclones@gmail.com, and you can always get Tamer at
imperialshipyards.net.
All right, and Sean, did you want to bring up a screenshot of the archive on Imperial Shipyards for all the old audio podcasts? I almost forgot that.
Thank you for remembering to remind me. Let me do that. I'll bring that up here shortly.
Yeah, and what Sean's going to pull up here is it's on Imperial Shipyards. One thing that we've always done, which is probably one of the smartest things that we've done, is way back when we started this thing, Sean, maybe not right at the beginning, but at some point we said, Sean said we should have a special page just for archiving all of our past shows. so that people can just go there and see all of them and click on the one that they want. And so if you look at the screen, you can see Sean's got Imperial
This, yep,
Shipyards.
this is the main page. If you just log on to ImperialShipyards.net, but if you can see this little button up your upper right, Custom Action Figure News, and you click on that, and it will take you to. Oh, you'll hear probably the Chad's audio intro. There it is.
Yep, Cobra Attack. There we go. And yep, there it is. And so, yeah, so at the top you see some videos. We're probably not going to be using Ustream anymore, folks, because now that we're doing Google Hangouts, we won't. I don't know that we'll be able to do Ustream anymore, will we, Sean?
Well, I don't see. Yeah, probably the need now. But of course, we
Yeah.
call this episode 69. But if you look through this, I don't know, Chad. We might be up to 100 and some actual separate podcasts because
Yeah, with
there's
all of our specials
right.
and things, right? Yeah, you might be right about that.
So we were up to 84, and there's 85, 86, 87, and then we've got, so we're getting close to 100, and any of these, if you just click these, you can see the button. I have about 6 podcasts per page. You can just click in, and you can even, there's the very first one down here in the bottom right where we tried out, and our learning curve. If you want to listen to our learning curve way back when we were just trying to learn how to audio podcast, you can. But you can see we've had some awesome customizer interviews, and of course some of them, no longer with us. I'm looking at, like Mark Martinez down here over on the left, and some custom artists, I'll be honest, I haven't seen or heard from for a while.
A long time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Cyclone with all that awesome, like he had a cool Imperial Tower and some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Michael Fright who has the huge true
The
to
AT-ATs,
scale 3 3/4 AT-ATs and
the
uh,
Tantive 4.
yeah. Yeah, when he
Yep.
got his whole entire neighborhood up in arms about him building that thing, and just all kinds of good stuff. Of course, you can see Date now, and he's all through here. He's been definitely a big
4 or 5
supporter.
times we've had him on.
Oh yeah, he interviews himself. I can't wait to get him onto the actual video podcast, and I won't have to do anything except hit the screen share button every once in a while.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Just say, hey, Dayton, here we are, talk.
but
What have you been up to?
anyhow, that is how you get to the CFN archive page, and you can get all of the past audio interviews. That is not going away. Like I said, we're just continuing, and we are going to convert, these this video and audio into just an audio MP3 type format, so you can still pick it up on iTunes as well as listen to it directly on the site if you want. Although, like Chad said, I don't know that I'll be posting the audio anymore. I mean, with the video, I would assume. I don't know. I might post the video on top and the audio on bottom, but that's something Chad and I can talk about later. But
Are you talking about on the front page?
no, well, I mean, I'm talking about on that archive page, and I think as far as the
Oh,
front page, and I don't know. We'll have to
we'll
talk
probably
about
just
that.
put the video on there now, Sean.
Yeah,
I
I would
mean,
think so too.
I think we're pretty safe and secure on Libsyn for our audio files,
Yeah,
since we pay for that. So, yeah, I don't think you need to do the audio. I think just post the YouTube videos and you're good. And that's probably super easy for you to do, anyhow.
right. Yep. So, like I said, with Chad and I, I've got a few things that we'll work out. But as you can see, we're back. We got through this, so we're only going to get better and better. And
Yeah.
thanks for watching.
All right. All right. Well, from Lucasclones
And Tamer.
thanks for watching, and we'll see you again really soon. Bye-bye.